That one seems to be working. Okay, let me play the theme. Okay, let me smash something really quick. Oh, it never finished. Okay. Try again. I know it updated this morning. Let's see. I don't think that's the problem. Let me see. Is it trying to update again? Nope. Oh, I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. Yes. My favorite fucking sound. No, you can't see any of this. Not that it matters. There's nothing secret about it. Now, why? Okay. There it is. There we go. Now, let me fix the closing theme. I did a little hard drive cleanup yesterday, and some links got screwed up. That's not even... Oh, it's not even... Fuck. Okay. It don't matter. I got to find it again anyway. Come on. There we go. Insert video from this device, from this... Insert link to file. Close enough, I think. Yeah. Playback. We'll just do that. Rewind after playing. Okay. Now we try again. Slideshow. Do I have any other videos? Right, not right now. Slideshow from current slide. Well, you're getting your money's worth today. Here we go.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Oh, hello there, you lucky devils. You better bet your bippies he reads everything. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Scott. Hi, Creepy Crawl. Hi, Gary. Hi, Sven. There's an octopus Octopus documentary? Octopus? Octopus documentary? The problem with doing it this way is I have to have two of these open. If this will even work. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Tony. So today's going to be the episode I've always wanted to do. The kind of episode I've always wanted to do. Can finally move ahead with this podcast. Netflix? What about Netflix? It's on Netflix? Okay. I know the book is... What's it about? Is it about the Rothschilds? I need another crazy conspiracy theory, like I need a hole in the head. I have a stack of books to read now. So today's episode, the premium episode, click the links, get signed up. Today's premium episode is going to be not a little change of pace. Well, a little change of pace. If you care. Current event. I've talked about it. I've mentioned it. The Colorado Springs dorm shooting. We're going to go into much deeper detail today. I think I may have found, this case bugs me to no end. I'm hearing every echo of Luca Magnotta, Moscow, Idaho, 4 on the floor, not to be confused with the Laurel Canyon 4 on the floor. Laurel Canyon, right? Not to be confused. Nugan Hand, well, maybe. It probably will circle back around to Nugan Hand. By no means have I cracked the case unless I have. It's funny. It's really funny. And I don't mean funny like the Italian army. I mean funny like Manny Grossman being the son of Jim Grossman. And doing a podcast about crazy conspiracy theories related to the son of Sam. Funny. So the premium live stream's already going, and it will continue to go when I end the YouTube. You won't have to refresh your screen. So if I were you, I'd go to the premium website now. This is kind of the way I want to do it. And this is the kind of episodes. Finally got current events going on. Hi, Joey. I'm not in person, Joey. This is a hologram. Manny loaned me his hologram generator. I forgot to set it for 20 years younger. Today's episode will turn Manny gray. So I got curious and poking around. I may have found something. Maybe this is a dead end. Maybe it's a good idea to look at a dead end for a change. We'll see. People showing up today. That's nice. The Octopus documentary is about Nugan Hand? Is it really? Well, I'm glad I started this podcast. If I had known everybody and their dog was already making documentaries about every single episode I've been doing. Is it me? I know how long these things take to make, so I don't think it is. But it could be. I mentioned Virginia Giuffre in Colorado Springs, and the next thing you know, there's this wildly inexplicable... Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the point. They have it all explained. They got the whole thing, the whole case cold. Okay? Wrapped up in tissue paper and tied up with pink ribbons. Okay? Except for one teeny tiny thing. Danny Casolaro? Okay. Let me make sure I remember who the hell that is. freelance writer, found dead in a bathtub at the Sheraton Hotel in Martinsburg, West Virginia. His wrist slashed 10 to 12 times. Medical examiner ruled the death as suicide. Became controversial because his notes suggested he was in Martinsburg to meet a source about a story he called The Octopus, a sprawling collaboration involving an international cabal. There's no such thing. Number of stories familiar to journalists who worked in and around Washington in the 80s. The Inslaw case about a software manufacturer whose owner accused the Justice Department of stealing its work product. The October surprise theory. The collapse of Bank of Credit and Commerce International. Listen, the Iranian Revolution is fascinating. Ayatollah Khomeini is fascinating. Don't kid yourselves. There's so much more to that. There's so much more to that. Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI. Remember BCCI in Iran-Contra. So that was the guy. Okay. Born in McLean, Virginia. Sister died of a drug overdose. Haight-Ashbury, 1971. Attended Providence College. Married Miss Virginia. Couple had a son. Amateur boxing, poetry, short stories. Purebred Arabian horses. Those are beautiful. There are really only two breeds of racehorses, Arabians and who go long distances, and quarter horses who sprint. The Chinese communist smuggling of opium into the U.S., which is exactly what... Maybe this is where I got all my ideas. Maybe I'm the plagiarist. Material fed to him by a reporter who worked for Lyndon LaRouche. Do not confuse yourselves about Lyndon LaRouche. Lyndon LaRouche was the first Donald Trump. Like, he was tarred with every brush except the truth. Plenty of things you could criticize Lyndon for, but not the things he was accused. Like, it's not what you think. There's the myth of Lyndon LaRouche. I'm not sticking up for him. What I'm saying is he's like Trump. He was accused of everything except being Lyndon LaRouche. Influenced by the Christic Institute. Public interest law firm, Daniel Sheehan. The Silkwood case. Their partner, Father William J. Davis, a Jesuit priest. Based on the ecumenical teachings of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin and on the lessons they learned from their experience in the Silkwood fight. Oh, yeah, Chardin was the Vatican's Darwinist. Basically came up with the excuse for John the 23rd to recognize evolution, which is true, but what tickles me is they have the whole thing figured out. You know why you hiccup? You hiccup, that is a reflex that is left over from when your ancestors were frogs and salamanders. If you watch amphibians, when they breathe, when they stick their up and they go, they don't go, they go, they hiccup. Did you know that? Did you know? Watch people when they eat. When people are eating and they swallow, they blink. It's a reflex. Watch frogs and amphibians swallow. They use every muscle in their skull to squeeze that food down. Until you ask them, well, how did it start? And you will hear every phrase in the English language except I don't know. You will hear every phrase in every language ever spoken by man and woman and whatever, except I don't know. I see pines. Of course I was right. I didn't come up with all of this independently. What I think is very important about this podcast, and what keeps me interested in doing the podcast, is this. Maybe I'm lying to you. Maybe I'm just plagiarizing these people. But I'm telling you, I come across this stuff independently, coming from different directions, coming from different investigations, and run right into the stuff that these people, you see what I'm saying? And with you guys' help, of course, and other people's help. Well, this is interesting. The Christic notably represented victims of 3 Mile Island. They prosecuted the KKK and the American Nazi Party for killing Communist Workers' Party demonstrators in the 1979 Greensboro Massacre. Far-left Maoist group, like I'm telling you, it's not the KGB or the Comintern who successfully infiltrated some of the Black Power movements. It was the Chinese Communist Party. It was the Maoists. Cultural Revolution, all that stuff. I'm telling you, not every Black Panther, not every follower of Martin Luther King Jr. was a communist, but they themselves really kept the KGB as far as they could. You know, they were very, very watchful of the KGB and the Comintern trying to infiltrate them. But apparently the Maoists, the Chinese Communist Party, were the ones who penetrated them the most deeply. Greensboro, North Carolina. They were real Yeah, right. The Communist Workers' Party. They were the first Antifa is CWP reborn. Okay, the ashes of the CWP, which started out as the Progressive Labor Party. This is now Antifa. That's who they are. That is who they are. And yes, they are supported by the current Chinese Communist Party in China. Okay. This is not what you tuned in for. Well, I haven't started the premium episode yet anyway. Cabazon Reservation. Yeah. Baby Bull, you are aware that Cabazon, that's that reservation where they had the weapons, the rifle factory that was really, all they did was they took stolen and black market and cheap surplus M16s from Vietnam, right? M15s, and put them in boxes that said Cabazon Arms and sold them to CIA front companies with the CIA drug money, and then handed over to anti-communist rebels all around the world, right? That was Cabazon Arms, and Philip Arthur Thompson was one of the weapons traffickers who was involved in setting up Cabazon Arms. When the Manson family broke into that Army surplus store and stole 200 M16s, they didn't need 200 M16s to try to break Charlie out of jail. They sold those or traded those to Cabazon Arms. George knows more about this than I do. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. And Casolaro had something to do. Oh, yeah. Well, I was told by a veteran of the Navy. I mean, he served in the U.S. Navy in 61, 62 in the South Pacific. And they were told the biggest importer of heroin into the United States was the U.S. Navy. People smuggling heroin into the United States on Navy ships. Because he said, this guy was on an aircraft carrier. He said everybody from the Admiral on down was smuggling something home. The Admiral was smuggling home some giant multi-million-dollar imperial jade sculpture, right? Like you've seen these, like they fill up a living room, right? And then the captain is smuggling home a Rolls Royce. And then the everybody's taking something home, so nobody lifts any lids because the lid will get blown off of everybody. It's one of the perks of serving in the United States Navy. And one of the things that everybody knew was being smuggled by the Navy on Navy ships was heroin. Yeah, so this is on Netflix. I got something to watch tonight. See, look how many people were tying these things together or getting this close to tying them together, and look what happened to them. Michael Riconosciuto, and Earl Bryan. Electronics and computer arrested shortly after providing Inslaw with the affidavit in support of their lawsuit. Huh. Yeah, maybe we'll just come back to this real soon. Let me watch the Frank Lucas's cousin. Who was Frank Lucas's cousin? Complete sentences, Gary. I need complete sentences. Listen. One of us going off half-cocked with incomplete information in response to something they saw in the chat is enough. From you, I need complete sentences. Hi, Kevin. Yeah, who was Frank Lucas's cousin? Who was Frank Lucas's cousin in Thailand? You're not talking about Ike Atkinson. Was he Frank's cousin? Maybe. That's possible. Because when Tony Poe was rotated out of Indochina and back to Bangkok, all of a sudden, Ike Atkinson takes over. There's that connection to when Vang Pao, all this crap, Vang Pao gets in all this trouble thanks to Tony Poe. It breaks this connection, and Ike Atkinson takes it over. Outside of Vientiane, am I pronouncing that correctly? We'll come back to that. What's his name, Gary? Yes, what? Yes, Ike Atkinson? Or yes, one person speaking in incomplete sentences is enough. You people are lucky this is not on fake book virtual reality because I could reach through this screen and I could slap you. Ike was his cousin? Okay, maybe I knew that, maybe I didn't. But thank you very much. That's very interesting. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. If they knew each other, let alone being cousins, that explains a whole bunch. Yeah, see, and that comes right, because with Son of Sam, what you get is, right, look at the day, Frank, look at the day Michael Carr, look at the day John Carr came back from the States, to the States, from the Air Force Base, Bangkok, and look at the day Frank Lucas was busted, and look at the day Michael Carr was killed. Tick, 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 tick. It's not that you're illiterate. You're obviously literate. That's not the problem. That's right, Hamilton. William Hamilton developing Promise. Which was stolen for, yeah, right. This gets really, see, this is going to be, it's going to be fun. Now that we got the boring stuff out of the way, okay? Let me start the premium episode, and maybe we'll talk more about this next week's premium episode. So, at the count of 0. Yeah, see, all this stuff is, and we found all this other stuff that ties right. It goes all the way back. It goes back far, far, far back beyond the phony kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby. And speaking of phony cases, let's just get right into it. Let's get into this. It looks open and shut. It's all wrapped up in tissue paper and tied with pink ribbons. Except for one thing. It's like the Luca Magnotta supposed murder of June Lin. Like a lot of other cases. Let's take a look at this dorm shooting last month in Colorado Springs. So thank you all very much. Get plugged in. Click the link in the description of this YouTube video. In the description. Click the link in the description. If you can't find that, you're never going to be able to navigate the premium site. No offense. All right. And that stream will just keep going. I'll start recording when the YouTube stream is over. Okay, so thank you, YouTube. Thank you all very much. Nice seeing you. I'll see you again soon, hopefully several times this week. The show I always wanted to do, but now you people, enough of you people have the background that you need to understand the show. And I've learned a lot along the way. It makes the show even better. So here we go. This is the show I was wanting to do starting now. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you over at the Cool Kids